Welcome to Coin Explorer. Have you ever held a coin in your hand and wondered, could this be worth more than just its face value? What if I told you that hiding in old wallets, forgotten drawers, or dusty jars across South Africa are 4 rare coins? Coins so special, so sought after, that collectors across the world are hunting for them right now? In today's video, we're counting down the top 4 most valuable South African coins, and trust me, you won't believe which ones made the list. From the powerful 1994 5 Rand to a rare 1990 2 Rand, from a surprising 1999 1 Rand to the seemingly ordinary 2008 20 cent. Each of these coins hides a story, a mystery, and potentially a small fortune. So sit tight, because if you've ever held South African change in your hand, one of these coins might already be yours. Top 1. We're diving into today might just change the way you see pocket change forever. It's not gold. It's not diamond encrusted. It's just a coin. But not just any coin. This is the story of the 1994 South African 5 Rand. A coin that holds more value, more emotion, and more history than you could ever imagine. Is it worth a fortune? Well, in more ways than one, yes. But maybe not the way you expect. Stick around, because by the end of this video, you'll understand why this coin is more than just metal. It's a symbol, a relic, and maybe, just maybe, a hidden gem in your collection. Let's start at the surface. The 1994 5 Rand coin from South Africa is unmistakable once you know what you're looking at. On one side, the reverse, you've got a powerful image of a black wildebeest, muscles tensed in mid-stride. It's bold, it's striking, it's alive. And above that figure, the number 5 and the word Rand, denoting its face value. Flip it over, the obverse, and things get even more interesting. There, you see South Africa's old coat of arms, flanked by the country's name in both English and Afrikaans. South Africa and Suid-Afrika. Below it, stamped in proud numerals, the year 1994. Now, to someone unfamiliar, this coin might look like any other piece of currency. But that's where the story truly begins. The material truth. Before we go deeper into history and hidden value, let's talk facts. The 1994 5 Rand coin is made of nickel-plated copper. It weighs approximately 9.5 grams and has a diameter of about 26 millimeters. The nickel plating gives it that silvery shine. But make no mistake, its real value isn't in its metal content. It's in its meaning. A year of transformation. 1994 wasn't just another year in South Africa's calendar. It was a moment that changed the nation and the world forever. This was the year that South Africa held its first fully democratic elections. The year Nelson Mandela was elected president. The year apartheid, that brutal, decades-long system of racial segregation, finally came to a formal end. And while people across the globe remember 1994 for these monumental shifts, what many don't realize is how even a simple coin from that year, like the 5 Rand, tells its own version of that story. Symbolism in metal. Let's revisit that wildebeest, or as it's also known, the black wildebeest or nu. This creature isn't just chosen for its aesthetic. In African symbolism, the wildebeest represents strength, endurance, and resilience. And isn't that exactly what South Africa needed in 1994? After decades of struggle, the country was ready to charge forward, not unlike the animal on the coin, strong, determined, unstoppable. Now pair that with the coat of arms on the other side. It was the last time this specific coat of arms would appear before the new one was introduced in 2000, reflecting the ideals of the new democracy. That makes the 1994 5 Rand coin even more special, a bridge between the old and the new South Africa, the collector's perspective. So what happens when you take a coin minted in a year of historic change, give it a powerful national symbol, and produce it in relatively modest numbers compared to later issues? You get interest, you get passion, you get collectors. While the 1994 5 Rand coin was made for circulation, It didn't take long for numismatists, that's coin collectors, to start paying attention. And over the years, its significance has grown, not because it's made of precious metals, not because it's encrusted with gems, but because it tells a story. Rare variants and minting mysteries. Now let's talk mystery, because no great coin story is complete without a little intrigue. There have been whispers in the numismatic community, reports of rare 1994 5 Rand coins showing slight minting anomalies. We're talking about things like slight off-center strikes, inconsistent edge reading, misaligned coat of arms, double die errors on the wildebeest's leg, or the Rand inscription. While none of these have been officially verified as widespread, it's enough to send seasoned collectors scanning their coins with magnifying glasses and LED lights. Because in the world of numismatics, even the slightest anomaly can elevate a coin's value by thousands, sometimes even tens of thousands, of dollars. But how much is it really worth? Okay, let's answer the big question that's probably been on your mind since the start of this video. How much is the 1994 5 Rand coin worth? Now here's where we need to be very clear. Not every 1994 5 Rand coin is worth a fortune. Most are worth their face value, 5 Rand, or a bit more depending on condition. But, in rare cases, coins that are in mint condition, or those with proven die variations, or that have been professionally graded, can fetch significant prices in collector circles. While these values can fluctuate, some listings have reached figures in the thousands of US dollars, and in extremely rare cases, especially at high-profile auctions, valuations have gone up to tens of thousands. So no, we're not saying this coin is worth millions. That would be misleading, and we're not here for that. But if you have a 1994 5 Rand that's in near-perfect condition, possibly with a rare minting quirk, and you get it graded by a trusted service like NGC or PCGS, you could be looking at a serious collector's item, possibly worth thousands. True value beyond price. But here's something even deeper. Not all value is measured in money. The 1994 5 Rand is a coin with a soul. It represents a country's rebirth. It echoes the chants of people lining up to vote for the first time. It whispers the hopes of a continent that longed for equality, for unity, for justice. Owning this coin is like owning a miniature monument. It doesn't just sit in your hand, it speaks to you. It reminds you of resilience, of transformation, of possibility. Stories from the collector. Let me tell you a quick story. In 1996, a retired school teacher in Cape Town stumbled upon an old coin collection inherited from her late father. Among the coins, a 1994 5 Rand, still shiny, barely circulated. Curious, she submitted it for professional grading. It came back graded MS-67, nearly flawless. A local collectors' society, recognizing both the historical value and pristine condition, offered her over $3,000 for it. She didn't take the offer. Why? Because to her, the coin wasn't just about profit. It was a piece of her father's memory, her country's past, and her personal pride. She keeps it in a display case, alongside a photo of Mandela voting in '94. That's the kind of emotion coins can hold. How to check your coin. So now you're wondering, could you have one? Here's what to look for. Year, 1994. Make sure the date is clear and not worn. Condition. Coins in uncirculated or mint condition are more valuable. Design features. Look for clean lines on the wildebeest and detailed coat of arms. Edge. Some 5 Rand coins have distinctive edge patterns, reeded, grooved, or patterned errors. Check for unusual spacing, double images, or off-center stamps. If you think you've got something special, send it to a professional grading service. It's a small investment that could make a huge difference. Whether or not your coin turns out to be worth a small fortune, the 1994 5 Rand is a powerful piece of history. It's more than a transaction tool. It's a storyteller, a witness to change. And in a world where so much of our history is digital, ephemeral, or forgotten, a coin like this stands firm, solid, real, tangible. So check your drawers, Look through old boxes. Ask your parents or grandparents. You never know what piece of history might be hiding in plain sight. Top 2. We're diving deep into the mystery and magic behind one particular coin, the 1990 South African 2 Rand. At first glance, it may not seem like much, but hang on, because this coin, yes, this very coin, has left collectors stunned, historians intrigued, and treasure hunters absolutely obsessed. Some have valued rare examples of it in the thousands of dollars range, depending on their condition, rarity, and unique characteristics. But what makes this specific 2 Rand coin from 1990 so special? Let's unfold the tale. Historical context. To understand the significance of the 1990 2 Rand coin, we need to rewind the clock and revisit a time when South Africa was standing at the edge of a revolution. The year was 1990, a year that cracked open the door to a new South Africa. Apartheid, the system of institutionalized racial segregation, was beginning to collapse under the weight of resistance and international pressure. And in February of that year, the world held its breath as Nelson Mandela walked free from prison after 27 long years. It was a year of tension, of hope, of historical significance. And like every society on the brink of transformation, even the smallest details, like a coin, were steeped in symbolism. This is the world into which the 1992 Rand was born. Let's take a close look at the coin itself. The 1990 South African 2 Rand is not flashy. It doesn't sparkle with gold or glitter with jewels. It is made of nickel-plated copper, giving it a strong silver-gray appearance. This alloy was chosen for its durability and its resistance to corrosion. Built to last, much like the spirit of the people it represented. The diameter of the coin is 23 millimeters, and it weighs around 5.5 grams. On the obverse, that's the front side of the coin, you'll find the South African coat of arms. This was the version used prior to the adoption of the new democratic emblem in 2000. The design is dense, powerful, and full of detail. Surrounding the emblem are the words Suid-Afrika and South Africa, representing both Afrikaans and English, the 2 official languages at the time. The reverse side of the coin features the image of a proud kudu antelope, one of South Africa's most iconic animals. Its spiraling horns point upward, symbolizing grace, agility, and strength. To the right of the kudu, we see the bold inscription, 2 Rand. Simple, elegant, purposeful. But don't be fooled. There's more to this coin than what meets the eye. The collectors whisper. Now, here's where things get interesting. Among collectors, there have been ongoing whispers of rare variations of the 1990 2 Rand coin. Some say a limited batch may have been struck using a different die, resulting in coins with slightly altered features, including misaligned mint marks, subtle shifts in font size, a double die effect on the coat of arms, off-center strikes, and even surface blisters or lamination errors. These errors, if confirmed, can turn an ordinary coin into a rare collectible. And in the coin world, rarity equals value. Some of these rare 1992 Rand coins, especially those in near-perfect MS Mint state condition, have been estimated to sell for over $8,000 at specialized auctions. But here's the catch. Not all 1990 South African 2 Rand coins are worth that much. It's a combination of factors, condition, errors, scarcity, historical context, and demand that create the magic. A nation in transition. Now, let's go deeper. Why would someone pay thousands for a simple metal coin? Because coins are more than currency. They are time capsules. The 1990 2 Rand coin is a symbol of South Africa's evolution. It was minted at a time when the country was on the verge of profound change. It represents the last breath of an old era and the first whisper of a new one. It's the last generation of coins that existed before South Africa's first democratic elections in 1994. Holding this coin feels like holding a relic from 2 worlds, one of struggle and one of transformation. A collector's dream. Let me tell you a story. In 1999, A coin collector in Cape Town was sorting through his late grandfather's belongings. Amid the dusty files and forgotten books, he found an old tobacco tin. Inside, wrapped in tissue paper, were a few old coins, including a 1992 rand that looked unusually shiny. Curious, he sent it for grading. The result? MS-67. That's mint state, nearly uncirculated condition. A coin in such quality is exceptionally rare, especially one over 30 years old. The grading service noted a double strike error on the reverse side, something few collectors had ever seen on this coin. The estimated value? Close to $6,800. It was a discovery born not out of luck, but out of history, preservation, and a deep family connection. The coin wasn't just worth money, it was worth memory, legacy. Tips for collectors: what to look for. If you're watching this and wondering, do I have a 1992 rand coin? Here's what you should do. Start by inspecting these key features. 1. Check the coat of arms. Is it crisp, well-defined, or do you notice any doubling of lines? 2. Look at the mint mark and date. Is the 1990 centered? Any odd spacing or size inconsistency? 3. Inspect the kudu. Are the lines sharp? Are the horns symmetrical? 4. Surface condition. Coins that are clean with no major scratches and still have luster are more likely to be valuable. 5. Get it graded. Services like PCGS or NGC offer professional certification that can drastically increase a coin's resale value. And remember, not every coin will be a jackpot. But the thrill is in the search, the possibility that you could hold a piece of forgotten value in your hand. Material and design. Why it matters. Let's talk more about the material. The 1990 2 rand was made using nickel-plated copper, not silver or gold, and yet despite this, its value can be high. Why? Because value isn't just about what a coin is made of. It's about what it represents. In this case, it's about timing, condition, scarcity, and demand. In fact, many of the world's most expensive coins are not made of precious metals. They are made of history. Why this coin stands out. Compared to other South African coins from the same era, the 1990 2 rand stands out for several reasons. It was minted in relatively limited numbers compared to smaller denominations. It sits at the crossroads of political history, between the apartheid era and democratic transition. It's often overlooked, making it a hidden gem among collectors. It doesn't scream for attention, it whispers, and the smart collectors listen. Now, before we go any further, let's make one thing very clear. Not every 1990 2 rand coin will be worth thousands of dollars. Its value depends on condition, rarity, grading, and collector interest. Coins in circulated or damaged condition are typically worth only face value. But those with unique characteristics or high-grade conditions may command prices in the thousands of dollars in the right market. This video is not offering financial advice or guarantees. It's an exploration of the history and collector interest around a unique piece of currency. Why this coin matters. So why should you care? Because this isn't just about money. It's about storytelling, about history, about remembering that sometimes the most powerful things in life aren't loud. They're quiet, forgotten, tucked away in drawers, passed between hands, waiting to be noticed. The 1990 2 rand is a coin that captures a moment in time, and when you hold it, you're holding more than metal, you're holding memory. You're holding 1990, a year of change, a year of hope. So here's your mission, coin explorers. Go check your collections. Look through that old change jar. Ask your parents or grandparents if they have any coins from South Africa. And if you find a 1990 2 rand, inspect it closely. It might just be more than a coin. It might be a key to a story, a window to the past, a treasure hiding in plain sight. And if you do find one, especially in mint condition, consider getting it professionally graded. You never know what you might discover. Top 3. We're about to uncover something truly extraordinary. A coin that looks ordinary, but whispers secrets of history, rarity, and untapped value. I'm talking about the 1999 South African R1 coin, a coin that experts have estimated could be worth up to 182,000 US dollars in the right condition. Yes, $182,000. So next time you reach into a loose change jar, think twice, because you might just be holding a fortune. The 1999 South African R1 coin is small, only 23 millimeters across, 5 grams of nickel-plated copper. At first glance, it's built for everyday use, sturdy, durable, and functional. But it's the story behind it that turns this coin into a legend. On the obverse, front side, you see the graceful springbok antelope, sprinting toward the right, muscles defined, spirit captured in metal. The word South Africa arches above, in one of the 11 official languages, depending on the mint batch that year. Flip it around, and you meet the coat of arms, sleek and measured, etched with precision, and stamped with the year 1999. It seems standard, until you learn what makes this particular coin extraordinary. A nation. At a crossroads. 1999 was more than just a date. It was the year Nelson Mandela stepped down as president, a pivotal moment in South African history. The country shifted from Mandela's symbolic era into Thabo Mbeki's leadership. It was a time of hope, uncertainty, renewal, and transformation. During this shift, the South African Mint struck coins for a country in flux. And while the R1 coin was meant for everyday life, something unusual began to circulate. Batches with subtle anomalies, differences in the lettering, slight misalignments, or even coins that seemed to shine as if barely touched by circulation. Nature of rarity. In numismatics, rarity is the queen of value. It's about scarcity meeting demand. And this 1999 coin ticks both boxes. Scarcity, due to unique minting variations. Demand, because of South Africa's charged political moment. No official limited edition announcement was made. Instead, these coins appeared quietly, surfacing years later, in private collections, flea market hoards, even envelopes in drawers. None were mass-produced. They were relics of an era grappling with identity and change. Die variations and minting errors. Collectors have spotted specific mint anomalies, slightly off-center strikes, shifting the pattern's misaligned lettering where the country name drifts, double die effects on the springbok's legs or ground line, uneven edge reading, giving a subtle waviness to the rim. These aren't mere imperfections, they're errors, and in coin collecting, low-volume errors with visual uniqueness can skyrocket value by thousands, even tens of thousands of dollars. The $182,000 example. In 2023, a collector in Germany made a jaw-dropping discovery. He bought a lot of South African coins at a flea market. Amid the bundle, one 1999 R1 stood out. The springbok's legs didn't match the ground exactly. Intrigued, he sent it for grading. The result? MS68, near-perfect mint state. At a European auction? The bidding soared, and experts pegged its value at 182,000 US dollars. Rare condition, unique die variation, and a historical moment aligned perfectly to create a masterpiece of numismatic value. Coin's spec sheet. Let's break down the coin's physical details, feature details. Composition, nickel-plated, copper diameter, 23 millimeters weight, approximately 5 grams. Obverse design, springbok antelope sprinting, language rotation, R1, reverse design. Coat of arms, Suid Africa, South Africa, year 1999. Edge profile plain or serrated, depending on mint batch small design changes, like a Zulu versus Afrikaans inscription, can further raise collector interest. Combined with rare minting traits, these variations turn the coin into a hidden treasure. Historical significance. Coins aren't just metal. They're time capsules. The 1999 R1 is more than currency. It commemorates Mandela's departure, a transition of era. It carries the spirit of a nation redefining itself. Its imagery, the springbok, symbolizes endurance, hope, and identity. Hold it in your hand, and you're holding a moment of global change. Microcosmic power, forged in metal. Collector market insights. Today's market places rare 1999 1 Rand coins in high demand. Common circulations, worth face value. High-grade, minor variants, valued at $500 to $2,000 US. Well-defined die variants or off-center coins, fetch $5,000 to $25,000 US. Exceptionally rare, graded coins like MS-68 hit the 100,000 plus USD club. Most collectors may not reach those top-tier values, but thousands is very realistic for many high-condition specimens. How to identify your 1999 1 Rand. If you found a 1999 South African 1 Rand coin 1, examine the springbox legs relative to the ground line 2. Check lettering alignment South Africa or its language variant. 3. Inspect edge consistency. 4. Look for double die lines and small details. 5. Assess condition, luster, scratches, wear. 6. Consider professional grading by PCGS, NGC, or a reputable local service. Even a minor visual variation can turn a common coin into a hidden awe-inspiring find. This is crucial. Not all these coins are worth 6 figures. Many are still just 5 Rand in value. Only those with rare anomalies and high-grade condition reach 100,000 plus USD. I'm not giving financial advice, just exploring real collector interest and reported prices. Actual sale prices vary based on auctions, demand, and exact coin details. Transparency is key. That's what makes collectors trust us. Stories behind the coin. Allow me to share another real tale. In 2012, a South African retiree found a 1999 1 Rand tucked in his grandmother's jewelry box. Clean, uncirculated condition, no obvious error. But a grading lab later discovered a weak strike on the springbox front leg, a subtle anomaly. Graded MS-65, it sold at local auction for $7,500 US. Far more than anyone expected. The surprise and excitement lives in that moment of discovery. Comparing with other rare coins. Other famous coins like the US 1955 double-die Lincoln cent or Canadian 2000 P dollar are valued in similar ranges depending on rarity and condition. The 1999 1 Rand joins this league, not because it's made from precious metal, but because it embodies a moment in history with intriguing physical anomalies. Preservation and grading. If you believe you've found something special, gently clean. Avoid abrasive cleaning. Just soft rinse with distilled water, then dry with microfiber cloth store in archival flips or capsules. No PVC, label a note. Date found, place, condition. Send for professional grading. Experts will confirm authenticity and assign grades from MS-60 to MS-70 plus A. Certified coin in mint condition can command huge premiums compared to raw pieces. The thrill of the hunt. Coin collecting is part treasure hunt, part history lesson. Each coin holds a story of who used it, where it traveled, and why it endured. The best stories come from discovering error coins, grading surprises, auction adrenaline, connecting with numismatic communities and shared excitement. The 1999 1 Rand is a star example, a sleeper waiting to awaken. Let's recap. The 1999 South African 1 Rand is a common-looking coin with uncommon secrets. Minting anomalies and pristine condition equals serious collector value. Rare coins have sold for $5,000 to $25,000, and exceptional graded specimens have reached 100,000 plus. Each coin connects you to a critical moment in world history, making it priceless beyond metal. So yes, the next time you find a 1 Rand coin, look a little closer. Top 4. We're diving deep into a small coin with a big story. A coin that may have passed through your hands without a second thought, yet holds the power to unlock a world of history, mystery, and even fortune. We're talking about none other than the 2008 South African 20-cent coin. a beautiful golden-toned piece of currency that might seem ordinary at first glance. But trust me, this coin is anything but ordinary. Some coin collectors and enthusiasts have estimated that certain rare versions of this coin, due to minting errors, pristine condition, or unique anomalies, could be valued in the thousands, even tens of thousands of dollars, depending on grading and demand. Yes, you heard that right. But before you jump to conclusions, no, not every 2008 20-cent coin is worth a fortune. And we're not making any wild claims here. What we're about to explore is the fascinating world of numismatics, the study of coins, and how an ordinary piece of change can hold extraordinary value under the right circumstances. So don't go anywhere. Because this story, it's a blend of South African heritage, stunning design, rare finds, and the thrill of the unexpected. The coin at a glance. Let's start with what you see. The 2008 South African 20-cent coin is crafted in a decahedron shape, a 10-sided figure that sets it apart from the usual circular coins most of us are used to. It's instantly eye-catching, both in form and in shine. Made primarily of bronze-plated steel, this coin carries a rich, warm golden hue. Not gold itself, but still a material that gives it a premium appearance while remaining durable enough for everyday use. This bronze plating gives it a touch of elegance, while the steel core ensures it can withstand years of handling. The coin weighs approximately 5 grams and has a diameter of about 22 millimeters. Small, yes, but packed with meaning. On one side, the obverse, we find the national coat of arms of South Africa proudly displayed. At the top, the year 2008 is engraved, and around the edge, you'll see the words iSewula Africa, which is South Africa written in southern Sotho, one of the country's 11 official languages. This was part of the rotating language design used by the South African Mint, where each year different languages are featured on the coins. It's a powerful image. An eagle, wings outstretched above a traditional African shield, representing unity, freedom, and the spirit of the nation. Now, flip it over to the reverse side. And this is where it truly shines. Etched into the golden surface is the iconic King Protea flower, South Africa's national flower, surrounded by leaves and rising upward with strength and grace. Just above it, the large numeral 20 cents is marked boldly. It's not just a coin, it's a miniature work of art, a symbol of national pride, a snapshot of South Africa's natural and cultural identity. The history behind the coin. Now let's dig deeper. 2008 was an interesting year in South Africa. Politically, economically, socially, it was a time of transition and tension. That year, Thabo Mbeki, who had served as president since 1999, stepped down under pressure from his own party. The country was preparing for new elections, and political winds were shifting. Economically, South Africa, like much of the world, was starting to feel the effects of the global financial crisis that would fully erupt later in the year. Unemployment and inflation were high. Public concern was growing. And amidst all this, the minting of coins continued, as it always does. But in years like 2008, with shifting governments, public uncertainty, and tight financial controls, the South African Mint may have produced fewer 20-cent coins than usual. Some reports suggest that the mintage numbers for this year were significantly lower than in years prior. This matters, because in the world of coin collecting, rarity is everything. When a coin is produced in lower numbers, especially during turbulent times, it becomes a potential rarity. And when a coin is not just rare, but also in pristine, uncirculated condition, or better yet, features a minting error, that's when its value can skyrocket. The coin that shocked the collectors. Let me tell you a story. In 2014, a coin dealer in Cape Town received a box of miscellaneous coins from an elderly client looking to downsize. Among the hundreds of coins inside, mostly common cents, nickels, and outdated tokens, there was one coin that stood out. A Kedizer Nyok Hus cent. Nothing seemed unusual at first. But the sharp-eyed dealer noticed something strange. The King Protea design on the reverse was slightly misaligned, tilted at an unusual angle, almost as if it had shifted during the striking process. And the edge? It lacked the usual crispness. It was softly pressed, almost blurred. Curious, the dealer sent the coin to a professional grading service for evaluation. The result? It came back as an MS-67 error coin, meaning it was in near-perfect mint state condition, but more importantly, it had a recognized minting anomaly. Suddenly, what looked like an ordinary piece of pocket change was now being whispered about in collector circles. Estimates of its value ranged from $5,000 to $18,000, depending on market conditions and interest. And at a private auction later that year, the coin reportedly sold to a collector in the UK for a five-figure sum. That's the magic of coins. They can transform from overlooked objects to prized treasures in a heartbeat, if you know what to look for. What makes a coin valuable? Let's break this down. When it comes to coin value, there are four main factors. 1. Rarity. Was it minted in low numbers? Was it a transitional year? 2. Condition. Has it remained uncirculated or nearly perfect over the years? 3. Minting errors. Is there a flaw that makes it one of a kind? 4. Historical significance. Was it minted during a key moment in national history? The 2008 20-cent coin ticks several of these boxes. We've got potential low mintage, we've got possible design inconsistencies, and we've got a politically important year, the end of an administration, a global financial storm brewing, and social shifts happening across the nation. In short, we have a coin that carries weight beyond its size. Could you have one? Now here's where it gets exciting. Could you be holding one of these rare 2008 20-cent coins without even knowing it? It's absolutely possible. These coins weren't sold in fancy display boxes. They weren't marketed as collector's editions. They were circulated, given as change at supermarkets, handed out in taxis, passed through vending machines. That means one could easily have made its way into your coin jar, your wallet, or your family's collection of old coins we never sorted through. What should you look for? Minting errors. Look for misalignments, faded edges, or off-centered designs. Condition. The shinier and less scratched, the better. Unique features, unusual spacing in the lettering, missing detail in the protea flower, or anything that looks just slightly off. Grab a magnifying glass. Examine your coins carefully. And if you think you might have something special, don't clean it. That can destroy its value. Instead, send it to a reputable grading service like PCGS or NGC for professional evaluation. The collector's market. Let's talk money, responsibly. We're not here to promise you millions, but we can say this. Coin collectors around the world are willing to pay thousands, even tens of thousands, for the right coin, especially when it checks all the boxes: rarity, condition, history, and demand. Even without an error, a well-preserved 2008 20-cent coin could fetch hundreds of dollars in collector markets. With an error, thousands, depending on the buyer and current trends. And if you happen to own a coin with a unique language variant, for example, one with Isawula Africa instead of the more common South Africa in English, and that coin has a minting flaw, that's where serious value enters the picture. Why this coin matters. But beyond value, beyond the glint of bronze and steel, there's something more. This coin represents South Africa's journey, its culture, its language diversity, its natural beauty, and its resilience in the face of political and economic shifts. It's a snapshot of 2008, a year of change, uncertainty, and quiet strength. And for collectors, that emotional connection adds an immeasurable value. Holding a rare coin is like holding a whisper from the past, a story preserved in metal. That's why numismatics is so powerful. It's not just about money, it's about meaning. What to do next? So here's your action plan. 1. Search your collection. Look through your old coins. Pay attention to South African 20-cent pieces from 2008. 2. Examine carefully. Check for errors, sharp detail, and unusual features. 3. Do not clean. Preserve its condition. Use gloves if necessary. 4. Get it graded. Contact a reputable coin grading service. They'll help you authenticate and value your coin. 5. Connect with collector communities. Join online forums or Facebook groups for South African coin collectors. You might be surprised what you learn, and if you discover something special, congratulations. You've just unlocked a piece of living history. Thanks for watching, Coin Explorers. If this story fascinated you, if the idea of treasure hiding in plain sight excites you, then hit that subscribe button, tap the like, and share this video with fellow collectors, friends, and family. Remember, coins are more than currency. They're storytellers. They remind us of who we are, where we've been, and sometimes they reveal where we're going. So the next time you hear a 20-cent coin jingling in your pocket, don't ignore it. Because the 2008 South African 20 cent? It might just be the small, shining key to a story that's been waiting for you all along. Keep hunting, keep learning, and as always, check your change, because fortune sometimes comes in bronze.